Episode 218. The entire world was mocking the character currently used by Roundbank Willow, Cloud Listening Blade, and of course, eagerly awaiting his reply. So the moment this news was posted, it was immediately seen by many. A flood of new messages instantly began to pour in. What? 眼听到 a real man's man. 应听到 a 出蛮了梦man. Cloud hearing Blade, swearing to never bow your head, or something like that, but it was still dripping with sarcasm. Clearly, a guy this arrogant wasn't exactly popular with the crowd anywhere, but those who love being arrogant might very well know this already. But arrogant bastards aren't trying to win people over with their attitude. What they crave is that feeling of being on top, looking down on everyone else. But being kicked off that high pedestal, for someone who thrives on arrogance, that's pure agony. Rao and Chuyang had been strutting about with that dungeon record, and while everyone cursed him, they couldn't break it. That was the thrill of his arrogance. But now, Lord Grimm shattered that record. It was like stomping right on Rao and Chuyang's face. It was beyond frustrating. By continuing to challenge Lord Grimm, Roan Yangchui aimed to keep his arrogant momentum going. He was powerless to reclaim that dungeon record. All he could do now was prove himself in a one-on-one duel, to show he wasn't just talking big, but was genuinely the real deal. That was the true essence of arrogance. Amidst the chorus of jeers, Ardoding Chuyi Ing waited for Lord Grimm's reply. He didn't have to wait long. This time, Lord Grimm finally responded.
Tomorrow afternoon, bring your main account.
Good. I hope you don't back out.
Excellent. I hope you don't back down when the time comes. Our Augen Chuyi typed coldly. Then he waited and waited and waited. No response whatsoever. Would Yi Xiu even dignify such a pointless provocation with a reply? He had long since taken the team into another dungeon run. This time, everyone was still focused, especially during the final boss's fight against Choya. Everyone was better at sensing with Lord Grimm's rhythm. The dungeon clear record has been broken again. The new time is 22 minutes, 29 seconds, and 57 milliseconds. That's 6 seconds faster than the previous record. It's not much, but carving out 6 seconds from a record that's already at the limit is no small feat. It's the result of relentless refinement. The news caused another uproar across the world channel, with players joking that this slap in the face was actually a 2-hit combo. At the same time, the 3 dungeon runs concluded, and Lord Grimm's party of 4 characters all leveled up to 31. Simo Cheng, go get some rest first. Qiao Yifan was a pro player too, and shouldn't have had this much free time. But after 3 dungeon runs with Yi Xiu and the others, that different feeling had already shifted his focus. After the 3 dungeon runs, Qiao Yifan was still too wired to sleep. He followed the trio straight into Line Canyon. Meanwhile, over at Blue Brook Guild, Cheng Yilao and the others had heard Blue River's report and rushed back to the 10th server, only to stare in silent dismay at the fresh record now topping the leaderboard. Before they could even process the first shock, they were hit with a second record-breaking blow. One time might be dismissed as a once-in-a-lifetime fluke, but twice in a row. That's undeniable proof of genuine skill. The record has been broken again. Cheng Yilao had braced himself for this, but from the guild's perspective, it was a pretty lousy outcome. But there's no other choice. We have to fight for this record, or we'll have no way to explain ourselves to our own guild. The dungeon record war in Server 10 is the talk of the guild headquarters in the heavenly domain. The compromise policy has to make everyone feel the frustration, especially for the group led by Rao and Chuyang, in order to maintain harmony within the entire Blue Brook Guild. This struggle did indeed sacrifice some of the interests of the 10th server's Blue Brook Guild. At the very least, Blue Brook Guild not only failed to salvage its reputation, but made things worse. It's now the biggest laughingstock in Server 10. Rebuilding that image will have to wait for another day. From this moment on, Blue Brook Guild's progress would lag behind the other major guilds. But a single thread of hope still remained. Raoden Chuyang has challenged in Moxiao. That's our opening. Though Lan River didn't support this challenge and held little hope for it, he had to admit that if Riverside Willows could win, it would be a powerful comeback for Blue Brook Guild's image in the 10th server. This duel is drawing massive attention. The whole server is buzzing about it, with countless people waiting to watch the show tomorrow afternoon. From a strategic standpoint, Riverbank Willow's move can't be called foolish. It's actually the best way for the guild to salvage its reputation right now. But can he actually beat Lord Grimm? Lan He was truly deeply skeptical, but he couldn't say a word. In the end, his loyalty should lie with his own guild. Right now, he should be hoping for Shorebound Willow to win, though he could already picture it. If this guy won, his tail would be wagging from here to the next galaxy. This record competition deeply affected tyrannical ambition as well. They were happy to see Blue Brook Guild step up as the first target, so they calmly refrained from contesting the glazed land record. They'd rather bear the shame of incompetence for a few more days. They wanted to see what Lord Grimm's attitude would be in this matter, what his approach would be. Instead, they saw him slip away, snag the first kill on a level 36 world boss, then come back and casually stomp Blue Brook Guild's record. Twice. Lord Tyrannical Ambition's leader, Jiang Yu, had personally come to the 10th server. And just like Ye Xiu, he had brought the guild's strongest members with him. But after seeing this result, he quickly abandoned his original plan, the limit of the record. It was as if this person had two different concepts of it. For ordinary players, there's one kind of limit, but for Lord Grimm's team, it's a whole different story. At this point, you really have to wonder if Lord Grimm is even running the same dungeons as everyone else. The records they see as absolute limits, where people improve by mere minutes. How can such fragile marks be called limits?
Should we talk to Lord Grimm?
Nighttide Cold Pool was thoroughly vexed. Why was his 10th server such a headache? To have spawned such a troublesome character.
No need to rush just yet. They're still a few ways away from hitting level 33. Right now, Blue Brook Guild is the one catching all the heat, which has actually taken a lot of the pressure off us. Let me see if there's another way to handle this. Backing down to Lord Grimm, this time puts us in a terribly passive position. At the very least, we need to prove ourselves. We need to prove we have the ability to resist his pressure, even if just once. That way, even if we still have to negotiate with him later, we'll be in a much better position. What?
Night Crossing Cold Pond was at a loss. Their elite players were clearly spread too thin. Just look at Blue Brook Guild.
Maybe I should go ask the team about it.
That's a bit much.
Hearing this, Night Crossing Cold Pond broke out in a cold sweat. He knew, of course, that the team referred to Tyranny, but this was a top-tier powerhouse aiming for the professional championship, asking them to come to the 10th server to help with the pioneering and record breaking now. With Captain Han Wenking's personality, Night Crossing Cold Pool felt that would be nothing but asking for a scolding. Jiang Yu's idea was a bit too bold.
Let me think.
Clearly, Jiang Yu was still deeply conflicted. As for the other guilds besides those two, watching Lord Grimm effortlessly shatter Blue Brook Pavilion's record into dust, and then stomp on it twice for good measure, their hearts were a roiling sea of conflicting emotions. After their Schadenfreude subsided, they had to start thinking about their own future. This problem was truly vexing, and so the night passed. After the arranged duel, Riverbank Willow left the 10th server. That night, he logged into his main account and spent the entire evening battling in the arena, specifically seeking out opponents with high win rates, training relentlessly until dawn. The next afternoon arrived in a flash. Ardo Duyin Chuyuing logged into the 10th server first to look for someone. His sleep had been terrible. His body was exhausted, but his mind refused to settle. Every time he closed his eyes, the scenes from the arena flooded back. Even when he'd first resolved to challenge Lan Qiao Chengxiu, he'd never felt this much psychological pressure. This time, he simply couldn't calm his mind. His form was off, and he truly had no face to go looking for anyone. Even if I rest schedule, there's no guarantee I'll be calm. I'll still sleep poorly, and my mental state will only be worse.